I want people to kick sand in my face, to tell me I'm stupid and I'm narrow-minded and I'm a bigot, that I am serving a God who's antiquated. No. You guys didn't laugh.
I don't get it.
Seems like we're serious.
Oh, man.
Can people say kick sand in my face
We're
too?
laughing on the
Yes,
inside.
doesn't everybody want sand kicked in their face? Listen, it is, your faith has got to mean something to you. This series is going to get a little deeper each week. We're going to get into some of the hard subjects. We're going to talk about why is there good and evil in the world? Errancy. We're going to get to, can we believe the resurrection? You know, we have some pretty serious guys going to be a part of this series. Between Craig Keener, Mike Latona. You know, I don't hold a candle to these guys because of their scholarship and all that. But each week we're going to go a little deeper. Why? Because by the end of the series, you'll be drinking out of a fire hose with some of these guys, with the deep truth that they're going to lay on you. So we want to empower you, we want to equip you. We want you to be able to not be wimpy about your faith, so that when someone asks you a hard question, you don't cringe. Hey, well, I want to crawl back under my rock. Don't you love a great comeback? Yes. Now, we're in a very sarcastic church.
No.
No. We're Philadelphians, which means we're bilingual. We speak bad English and sarcasm fluently.
No, it doesn't.
No, he doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
Okay. Well, I want to start off, if you want to go to the next slide, with the greatest comeback that I could think of. During the televised presidential campaign of 1984, Henry Thurmott of the Baltimore Sun posed this question to Ronald Reagan. You are already the oldest president in our history. Some of your staff say you were so tired after your most recent encounter with Mr. Mondale. I recall that President Kennedy had to go for days on end with very little sleep during the Cuba Missile Crisis. Is there any doubt in your mind that you will be able to function in such a circumstance? Wow. There it was. Someone finally in the campaign asked the age question. It had been discussed, had been pondered, had been thought about, but no one in the media had the guts to ask the Gipper about his age. You see, Reagan was 73. He was, in some people's minds, too old to serve a second term. Could he have focused effectively to serve our nation? For a split second, the entire nation waited to hear the response of this great man. He looked right in the camera and smiled and said, "Not at all. I want you to know that I also will not make age an issue in this campaign. I am not going to exploit for political purposes my opponent's youth or his inexperience." Wow, what a comeback. He went on to win as a landslide. You see, he was able to deal with a hard question. He didn't flinch. He didn't cower. He didn't duck and cover. He was able to come back and deal effectively and answer not only their questions, but they turned the tables against the people that he rocked. Don't you want to be that way with your faith? Romans 1:16 says, "I am not ashamed of this good news about Christ. It is the power of God at work, saving everyone who believes." Now listen, to survive in Philadelphia, you really do need to be bilingual. One's ability to juggle sarcasm and the cynical nature of our society is a must. The art of a great comeback is critical and has to be cultivated. As a believer in Christ, you have to get to the point where you can deal with the negativity, that barrage that comes at you, that you're going to receive just sometimes by being merely present in the room. We cringe when people hit us with questions. We blink. We look away. We look to, how do I escape and get away from this conflict? And here's what the enemy does. He places you in a position of checkmate, where you become no heavenly good on earth. because you don't know how to give an answer for what lies within your heart. The Apostle Paul in 2 Corinthians 10:4 says that we should be able to go on the offense at any time. It literally says, knock down strongholds of human reasoning and to destroy false arguments. The Bible tells us that we should be able to be ready to give a good answer to anyone who asks for the hope that's within us. You see, this is life as we know it. Meager, ready to become roadkill. Roadkill for Jesus. There's a bumper
There you
sticker.
go.
You know? But here's what happens next. You see, gladly give an answer. Your countenance changed. You have confidence. Instead, you must worship Christ as the Lord of your life. And if someone asks you about your Christian hope, always be ready to explain it. That requires you to actually know something. Next. 2 Timothy 2 says, work hard so you can present yourself to God and receive His approval. How do I do this? Be a good worker. One who does not need to be ashamed of who he correctly explains the word of truth. You see, this is not about a program. The Foundry, if you're watching this, the Foundry is not a program church. If you want a program church where you become little sausage links, don't come here. Anyway, if you want to think for yourself, ask questions, be confrontational, live a dynamic lifestyle where you're going to go through the fire and yet joy life. Come join us, be a part of us. Anyway, why do I say all that? Because today we're going to talk about, is the Bible reliable? Is it relevant? That's the first one we're going to talk about. Kind of feeds off the last series we just ended. Is it reliable? You know, I'm tired of hearing that it's a bunch of myths and fables. Now, I want you, as we go through this, I'm not going to give you a rote pattern standard answer. I refuse to do that. You're very intelligent people. Okay? I want to whet your appetite for going deeper. I want to give you just enough information for you to be dangerous. I want you to be able to say, you know, this is cool, I want to know more. I'll give you some books real quick. This is the Evidence for God. It's brand new by Dembski and Lacona. Great essays on different issues of the faith. This is one of my personal favorites, and no, you may not have it. Buy your own. Questions, I bring books to church, and when I'm not looking, they disappear. Anyway, the questions Christians hope no one will ask, by Mark Middleberg. Ooh. Questions that you hope no one will ask. We're going to touch on a little of that as we go through this series.